Today I'm ranking 40 healthy foods from God tier to never eat tier. Let's start with bananas. I think bananas are okay. Bananas have a lot of sugar, which is gonna cause glycation, which is gonna age you. So the more bananas, i.e. sugar you eat, the more you're gonna age yourself. And bananas also have a lot of fiber, which is indigestible for the human gut and can interfere with the digestion that people have. Other than that, they're a good source of potassium and vitamin C, but that's simply not enough to call them a good food. Next, we have bacon and eggs, which I'm gonna put into good, because bacon and eggs both have a lot of saturated fat, which humans need to produce hormones. Also, there are no anti-nutrients in bacon and eggs as long as the eggs are cooked. And the protein you get from bacon and eggs is very, very bioavailable. Next up, we have a salad, which I'm going to put into bad. You can see there's some tomatoes, some onions, some cucumbers. Many of these vegetables and fruits have anti-nutrients that will interfere with your digestion and that can irritate your gut, especially the lectins that are in the tomatoes. And you don't really get any micronutrients from this except for vitamin C and some other plant vitamins that the human body can't really use anyways. So that's why I would say that a salad is a net negative. Next up, we have organic sweetened snacks. It seems to be wasabi, which I'm gonna put into never eat. There's a reason why wasabi is spicy for you, and that reason is your body is telling you to not eat it because again, anti-nutrients and phytochemicals in there that can irritate your gut, and especially when something is spicy, that usually is a very good sign that it simply is not good for the gut lining. So that's why I would put it into never eat. It's probably even worse than a salad. Next up, we have dark chocolate, which I'm going to put into never eat as well. Dark chocolate has a lot of polyphenols, and mainstream media will tell you that that's good. I would argue that that's quite bad because polyphenols spike your cortisol. Also, there's usually a lot of sugar and that's usually processed. So in my opinion, just simply not a good idea. Next up, we have cherries, which I'm gonna put into good. They're not as bad as bananas because cherries have a lot less fiber and a lot more water. They are a lot better at hydrating you. And that's why I will put them at the good spot. They're also not as much genetically modified as bananas are. Bananas are severely genetically modified and they don't even look anything like they've used to look in the past. So that's why I think cherries are a better choice. The same pretty much goes for strawberries. Strawberries are also not very high in fiber, but pretty high in water. But you have to be careful because many of these berries, especially strawberries, are sprayed with pesticides. So you should only buy them organically or ideally, of course, grow them yourselves if you can. Broccoli, I'm gonna put into never eat because broccoli also has polyphenols. Broccoli also has oxalates that will cause kidney stones and joint problems in humans. And there's pretty much just nothing that a broccoli does that is positive for you. Broccoli is just a flower. Broccoli never existed in nature. Broccoli is completely genetically modified. All the common vegetables come from one plant, so definitely not a natural food to eat and therefore not a good food to eat. Next, we have grainy protein bars or bars in general, which I'm also going to put into never eat because grains are pretty much the worst food that you can eat because grains are the children, or grains and seeds are the children of plants. And that's why the plant wants to protect the children of the plant, of course, the most. And that's why there's the most anti-nutrients, the most phytochemicals, the most phytotoxins in the seeds. And that's why anything that is made with seeds will pretty much automatically go into never eat because of the sheer amount of bad stuff and toxins that is in there. Next up, we have eggs, which I'm gonna put into God's tier. Of course, I would eat my eggs raw, like Rocky, but even cooked eggs are pretty damn good, especially if they're not cooked all the way through and they have a runny egg yolk. Because eggs have all the nutrients that you want. They are pretty much the most bioavailable food when it comes to protein. They are very easily digestible, especially when eaten raw. And there's pretty much just no downside to eating them. Next up, we have cookies, which is pretty much just grain sludge. Also will go into never eat. Cookies are pretty much just made with seeds and chocolates. And since chocolate and seeds are in this tier, I will put it into this tier as well. Next up, we have nuts, which I will put into bad. I won't put them into never eat because I don't think that they're this bad. The modern nuts are a little bit better because they have been genetically modified to not be as toxic. But still, I don't really see why you would eat them. The fat you get from them isn't saturated fat anyways, and saturated fat is pretty much the only fat that humans need. And the proteins are not bioavailable. They have quite a lot of fiber, are not really well digestible. So overall, I think that they're just not a good choice. Next up, we have almonds, which are also nuts, but I'm gonna put them into a worse tier because almonds have a lot of cyanide. Sure, the modern almonds, the genetically modified almonds, have a lot less cyanide, but if you were to eat almonds a couple hundred years ago, then a handful or just a couple of them would literally kill you because cyanide is pretty much the most toxic poison on earth. And this again goes to show you that seeds want to protect themselves and therefore shouldn't be eaten by humans. Next, we have apples, which I'm going to put into the okay tier as well. Modern apples don't really have a lot of vitamin C. They do have a lot of sugar and fiber though. And that's why I think they're pretty much on the same tier as bananas. They're not terribly bad, but they're also not super good for you. And they will cause glycation, so they're okay. Especially if you want a snack in the summer and they're in season. Next, we have peas, which I'm also going to put into never eat. I just don't even know why you would eat them. They have antinutrients, they have oxalates, phytoestrogens, and so on, are quite toxic for the human body, not really digestible. They're not bioavailable whatsoever. The protein that you get from them is absolute garbage, and they don't taste good. Just in my opinion, not a very good food. Next, we have blueberries, which I'm also gonna put into good. Yet again, they don't really have a lot of fiber, but have a lot of water, which is gonna hydrate you, and they make a very, very good snack in the summer. Next, we have green apples, which are, I guess, unripe apples. And I'm gonna put them into bad because when you eat unripe fruits, then there's more anti-nutrients in the fruit. The fruit has to ripen on the tree or on the bush in order to get rid of the anti-nutrients. So if you, for example, buy a green banana and wait for it to become ripe and to become yellow, then there's still gonna be the same amount of anti-nutrients and phytoestrogens in that fruit. So that's why unripe fruit will definitely be in the bad tier. Next up, we have tacos, which I'm gonna put into bad. Sure, you get some meat with the tacos, and that's why I'm going to put it into bad and not into never eat. But you have a lot of phytochemicals, a lot of phytotoxins on there. And you have, of course, all the grains, all this grain sludge, which is going to irritate your gut and makes the meat digest a lot worse in the stomach. Next, we have chicken, which I'm going to put into God tier. I don't think that chicken is the best meat, but from everything on this list, it's probably one of the better things, unless the chicken is unhealthy. I especially don't think that chicken is necessarily the healthiest meat because chicken is very, very low in fat. And like I pointed out earlier, you need fat in order to build your own hormones. But any meat is certainly better than no meat. Next, we have scrambled eggs with the toast. And the toast, of course, is bad and would go into never eat. And the scrambled eggs would go into God tier. And I guess then a combination of the two has to be an okay, pretty much exactly the middle. If you were to leave out the toast, then you would have a pretty solid meal. Next up, we have bell peppers, which I'm gonna put into bad. I'm not really a fan of them because they do have oxalates and lectins, which will definitely irritate your gut and, like I said, maybe even cause kidney stones and joint problems. Next, we have salmon, which I'm gonna put into good tier. I don't think that salmon is a food that is necessarily good for most humans because most salmon that you get nowadays is farmed. The seas are full of heavy metals and microplastics, and it's really hard to find high quality fish. So if the seas weren't such a toxic environment, then I would probably put salmon into God tier as well. But right now, since we have problems with pollution, I would probably put them into good. Next up, we have avocados, which I'm going to put into bad tier as well. They have oxalates. They don't really have any saturated fat. So then don't really add anything to your meal. Next, we have sushi, which I'm going to put into okay. Sushi usually is raw fish, which I am a huge fan of, but the people who eat sushi usually eat it with soy sauce, which is of course bad because you don't want to turn into a soy boy, and usually also with a lot of rice, which again is going to spike your insulin, is going to cause glycation, and is going to age you. So the raw fish is very good, the rice is pretty bad, so that's why it will land in the middle in okay tier. Next, we have Coca-Cola, which I'm going to put into never eat or never drink because of all the processed shit that is in there, especially the processed sugar, of course. And Coca-Cola is so acidic that it actually really stains and totally destroys your teeth. Next, we have grapes, which I am going to put into good because they don't have a lot of fiber, they're very watery, they have potassium, they are going to hydrate you pretty well, and they're a great snack. Next, we have granola, which I'm going to put into never eat, because like I pointed out earlier, you do not really want to be consuming any grains whatsoever, especially not those that are coated with sugar, because of glycation and all the other toxic defense chemicals that the grains have inside of them. The same thing goes for oatmeal, pretty much just the same applies to that. Watermelon I'm gonna put into good as well, low in fiber, high in water, is gonna hydrate you, pretty good snack. Next up we have peaches, which are quite high in fiber as well. They also don't have too much vitamin C, so they will be in okay tier as well. Next, we have a burger, which I'm going to put into never eat. Sure, a burger is probably healthier than any oatmeal ever is, so I'm going to move it into the front, just simply because there's some meat and sometimes some bacon and cheese in the burger, so you're actually getting some nutrients at least. But the burger is made with so many grains and seed oils and so on that I cannot put it any higher than never eat tier. Next, we have guacamole, which is pretty much just a squashed up avocado, so that's why it will go into bad. Shrimps, I'm gonna put into good. They're kind of garbage disposal machines of the sea, but especially if you can find healthy, natural ones, and you may even eat them raw, then pretty good thing to eat, even though they have very, very low fat. Next, we have nut butter, which I do not really like. Again, nuts, usually a lot of oxalates and antinutrients, and nut butter usually also has a lot of sugar added to it. Let's just say this specific nut butter doesn't have any sugar added to it, then it's pretty much on the same level as normal nuts and will go into bad tier. Grapefruits and ananas will also go into okay. Both are pretty sugary, so both have a lot of fructose in them, which is gonna age you, but they also both have a lot of vitamin C, which kind of balances it out. Next, we have a sandwich with green leaves, which is gonna go into never eat, because the green leaves will cause kidney stones because of oxalates, and the grains which this bread is probably made with probably are sprayed with pesticides as well, so not a good food. The same thing applies for the pancake, but pancakes are even worse because they usually have a lot of sugar on them, which is going to cause severe glycation and severe aging. And lastly, we have pasta, which also will go into never eat. Pasta usually is eaten with tomato sauce, which has lectins. And pasta itself is pretty much just complete garbage. It's just grain sludge. It's just going to spike your insulin, which is going to make you fat. And you pretty much always feel tired after eating pasta because of the severe blood sugar spike that you have. So certainly not a health food. So guys, tell me what you think about this list. Would you have ranked anything on this list differently? Tell me in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing and watch another video. I will see you there. Bye bye.